So today we're going to be talking about how to make your man feel appreciated so that they don't really feel like they're being taken for granted. Because the biggest complaint that guys make nowadays about their women is that they just don't feel appreciated. If you learn how to make a guy feel appreciated, you're gonna have a very healthy relationship. But there's a caveat here: make sure that the guy that you're using this on is consistent. Because Ryan, one of the things about him is that he's also consistent with his woman. And so she reciprocates his consistency with praise and with the things that we're gonna be talking about. But you cannot be doing this with a Bronx ass dude who sorry to all the Bronx guys, sorry to people, man, because Bronx people, right? You can't be doing this with people who are not consistent, who are abusive, who put you down, who don't praise you in front of people, who make you feel appreciated. You can't be doing that. So this is for people who are behaving the right way. This is for people who are doing what they have to do, okay? Not for fucking Juan the gang man. Another thing that I want you is that if you have to really feel this. If you have unrealistic standards for men, meaning demanding that a guy flies you here, flies you there, does a sprinter Rooney, six-pack, Chad, Jigga Chad, all the girls want him, but he's faithful to you for some reason. Like he's the top guy, and for some reason he elects you. What are we doing here? That's not possible. You got to learn to appreciate the simple people. The local electrician who makes a good living. The local freaking lawyer. Well, that's a pretty big right there. Like simple people. Too many people have unrealistic expectations. You guys want the celebrities. If this is what you want, then you know what? Every guy that you're with is never gonna feel appreciated because he can sense that you're not really even there for him. You just want something that everyone else wants. You're fucked in the head. Your expectations for men are wrong. It's the simple things. He's there for you. He works a 9 to 5. When he gets home, he's happy to see you. If you cannot appreciate that, you cannot do what this video says. It's just that simple. You got to take a break from dating and social media to recalibrate your standards so that they don't go out and do something they shouldn't do, so that they can appreciate you more. Because at the end of the day, when a man feels appreciated, when somebody feels appreciated, they fall in love deeper. Okay? So one of the things that I really like that she does is that they publicly praise each other. That, to me, you'd be surprised how many people who are couples don't publicly praise each other. They either talk negatively about each other or they don't even compliment each other at all. But the best thing that they do about each other is that they compliment each other in front of other people. You guys do not understand how validating it feels to hear your partner talk positively about you in front of other people. So let's watch a video where Blake Lively is talking about Ryan, and notice how she talks about him. And for me, it's not just the fact that she's talking about him; it's the fact that she is emphasizing how he makes her feel protected. Okay, and that feeling of being protected is very important to a guy. It makes a guy feel like they belong. It makes a guy feel like they have a job, and that's actually very important. A guy needs to feel like you feel protected around him, or else, well, a guy needs to feel like a man. And the most important thing that you have to do is let him know you feel safe around him. Watch this.
Go on the other side of him, it's your instinct to try to have your protector protect you. Yeah. But, if we're walking with a stroller, I don't know where we're walking with strollers with strategy figures, but just to give you, right. The emotional parallel, now I go and I stand in front and go towards the figure. It's just like it's very primal, that mama bear thing. There are things that you do, like if I was walking with my husband late at...
By the way, if you're dating someone, you want to make them feel appreciated, similar how Blake Lively makes Ryan Reynold feel appreciated. Well, just click in the description down below where you could work with me one-on-one, and I'll show you guys the strategy that she implements, and I'll show you how to implement it in your life. So if you're dating someone and you feel like they don't feel that appreciation, I could definitely help you out and also teach you guys other strategies to make somebody fall in love with you and to make the connection that you already have with this person more deeper and make them feel more connected. So click in the description down below where it says work with me one-on-one, or else I'm gonna have to close the channel. And that sensation is very important because a guy wants to feel like a man. A guy wants to feel powerful, and guys feel powerful when they feel like the women in their life depends on them, like the women in their lives feel safe around them, especially her saying it in the public light. right? So don't just keep things to yourself. See, this is my problem as a person, right? This is actually a mistake that I make, is that I kind of don't tell people how I feel. I show them how I feel, right? So maybe their love language is verbally tame people, right? But you got to find out what is this person's love language and communicate and try to communicate that you feel safe around them. Why? Because around you, he's going to feel strong. Around you, he's going to feel more secure. Around you, he's going to feel more like a man. And guys gravitate towards people who make them feel that way, who makes them feel like they are strong. Because a man's masculinity is measured by what women think of them. Like that, I mean, it sounds superficial and silly, but understand, we are animals. We are not rational creatures that we assume that we are, right? Now, the next thing that I really like about them, and it goes in the same light as this, but it's the public praisal of your partners. Publicly praising your partner. It's not just a fact about feeling protected, but publicly praising. And not just that, it's the ability to be able to know these things. It's the paying attention to detail. You make somebody feel appreciated, not just by verbally praising them, but by paying so much attention that you notice the little things that they do that shows you they love you. For example, there was once a lawyer talking about what leads to divorce, right? And he said that the number one thing that leads to divorce is when you stop doing the little things. In other words, he asked a woman who was getting a divorce, what made you realize the relationship was over? And she said this: when I looked inside the refrigerator and the guy didn't bring me the cupcakes that he always brings. It's no big deal. I could get them myself. But now she notices that little detail he stopped doing. And that's when she realized divorce was imminent. In the same light, it's not just the fact that you are telling people these things. It's the fact that you pay attention, that you love that person so much that you notice the things that he does for you that makes you happy. And now you talking about it in public makes them feel that it confirms to them the feeling that you gave them of you paying complete attention. Listen up.
He races home, whether it's from across the globe or a meeting across the street. He is hardwired to get home. If he came home from set,
she understands his thought process. So remember, I'm not just telling you to publicly praise people, but just have the ability to notice those things, because just noticing. Because I notice when you notice. People notice when you notice. It's a plus when you tell. But the noticing is the thing that hits you at the heart, at the core, right? Knowing that his values is his family. Knowing that he values that value. And letting him know that you appreciate, that you know that you value what he values.
Not in his wardrobe, we would be very concerned. Soaked in mud.
Right now, what he's feeling is a sense of nothing could give him this much joy, honestly. It really does.
Fake blood,
like
real blood, prosthetic scars, superhero suits, tap shoes, or clown makeup. Daddy always comes home. And that man races back to his real life like nothing I have ever...
Right? So, as you could tell, she knows that's a sacrifice that he's doing. So that's another thing. Acknowledge their sacrifice. If a man is paying for your dinner, acknowledge it. If a man is taking you on vacation, acknowledge it. Don't take it for granted. Don't say, you didn't take me to first class, bitch. You know how many times I heard that from other clients, like clients that had women, that they complain about that type of shit? Like ungrateful people. You know? And so what I like about this is the fact that she doesn't need to say these things, man, honestly. For real, she doesn't need to say these things. She doesn't. You know? And just by his reaction tells me this is the reaction that you want. Is that sensation of being appreciated, because rarely do people notice the little things that we do for them. Like, not our loved ones, but like the people around us. If you're actually a good person, you do a lot of little things that people just don't notice. The one time that somebody notices it and tells about it, come on, man.
Seen, especially not by someone who's able to be so all in his work life. He's able to somehow be everything to everyone all at once. He's the most present person you will ever meet.
And these things, you rarely hear anyone get their flowers while they are alive. And you know what you hear a lot about guys, honestly? Ladies, listen to me, get a little closer. Is that they just don't feel appreciated by their women. Just praise the guy. Praise the guy in public. Let other people know that the man that you're with is your man. Let him feel like he could protect you. Even though he can't, even though he might be a freaking twig, let him feel like he could protect you. Never let a man feel like you're not safe around him. Never let a man feel like you don't acknowledge the sacrifice that he makes. You don't acknowledge the sacrifices that he's making for being with you. For example, it's like women who want to get celebrities, right? A woman who wants to get a celebrity who gets a lot of women. And she wants him to stop getting all that poom poom for her. And it's like, you got to realize that. I see it from this perspective. You're really telling a guy to sacrifice a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you. And then when you're with him, you're not even appreciative that he's letting go of that lifestyle that a bunch of guys would love to have all for you. A lot of people just don't acknowledge the sacrifice that it takes just to be with one person. And you have to find a way to make people feel like you understand that being with you is some sort of sacrifice, and that you love that, and that you will never take that for granted. Too many people expect things to be given to them without being acknowledged because we think that's what should be done. Get what I'm saying? Let's continue. Now, the next part that I like about this is that just notice this, right? And this to me is a reflection of something bigger. It's the fact that she's not a pushover, right? When she's not just notice the way she talks
from Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds.
Lantern come and gone, all that stuff, and we were both single. We went on a double date she was on a date with another guy, and I was on a date with another girl, and that was the most awkward date for their respective. This is a story that they always
talk about, right? This is why it's always good to have a good story, good way that you can be met through a strip club, because then you're gonna have to repeat that story. Like
for him, there were no fireworks for me. No.
Right? There was no fireworks for me. LOL.
No, yeah,
right?
You know, we were such good friends for so long, and we got to know when we both got to know each other. We got to know each other.
And I believe the way to really have a long-lasting relationship is to meet and be friends. Is to be friends first.
And so when we were both single, we were still trying to find each other's.
I wanted to show you that part because of the way she talks. She was like, "Oh, he felt that chemistry, not me." Right? I wanna emphasize something. There's something bitchy about her that's really nice, right? That she's willing to poke fun at him. And you know how many times guys date women who are afraid of losing them to the point where they're not even willing to criticize them. They're not willing to challenge them. They're not willing to talk shit. They're not willing to push their buttons. These things tell guys that you are not authentic. And your opinion and your praise will not be worth as much. The praise that you give should always be balanced out with criticism. The praise that you give should always be balanced out by silence. In other words, you should give praise, but also, if you're going to be giving a lot of praise, also give them the impression that you're not just praising them just for the sake of it. And the way that you do that, honestly, the way you do that is that you just have to be willing to walk away. Have standards, have a certain way that you demand people to treat you, so that when you do praise people, it hits harder. Because the praise of people who are not willing to walk away, the praise of people who are sycophants, the praise of people who are afraid to upset you, doesn't really land as praise. It lands as noise. When they know there's a side of you that's willing to walk, that's willing to ruin the relationship, to leave this, all because you're not willing to appreciate me for who I am, that fear, that tension makes the pleasure and the praise that you give to them land harder, because it softens them up. All right? So praise the people praise your man in front of people. Publicly praise them. Make them feel like you feel protected around them, that you feel safe. And also make them feel that you're not a pushover, that your praise comes from a real place, that your praise doesn't come from a place of wanting to just get their validation, but from a desire to let them know that you are someone special and I appreciate you. All right? Okay? All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know who else you guys want me to. And if you guys want to learn how to make a guy fall in love with you, I actually have a few bundle deals that I have to offer you guys. One is the basic wifey bundle. It's not basic, but because I have a bigger bundle. This one's pretty much it's a course about natural chemistry, which is about for women who are in relationships and want to learn how to keep the guy and make the guy that they're currently dating fall in love even harder by creating boundaries, by learning how to embrace the masculine and the feminine. It's pretty much a
the type of course that helps women in relationships, make the guy fall in love. And then the other one is the psychological game of attraction, which is a course for women who are in relationships, right? For women who are single per se, right? And this one I would personally take you through the first 3 months of a relationship, right? Because in the first 3 months, if the relationship doesn't happen, it's not gonna work out, okay? So it's a guide for women who are single, women who are in relationships. So this course is specifically made for the first 3 months of any relationship, because I believe that if the person doesn't want a relationship within the first 3 months, it's not going to work out, right? So check it out right now. Click in the description down below where it says purchase the bundle, and I'll see you guys later when I'm closing the channel.